A lot of people don't like this bottle. I don't think it's that bad.
Here's some codes to save you some cash on your next Middle Eastern niche or designer fragrances.
What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're going to be talking about the newest Paco Rabanne's, whatever the hell this thing is, the robot. Today we're going to be talking about the newest Phantom Parfum. So a lot of people really don't like this bottle. They don't like the whole robot thing. It's a little bit childish. I understand. I get it. I have the original as well, and I honestly don't mind it. It's a little bit of lemon, some citrus, some soil. There's literally a soil nuance or a note, and vanilla. Pretty simple, and honestly 14 and up. It's like teenagers, and that's really where a lot of the hate comes from. It clearly looks like it's marketed for exactly that age group. Still not a bad fragrance by any means, and it smells pretty good. It's simple, it's sweet, it's playful. It's not bad. This one, however, it's a little bit more of a grown-up version, but it doesn't necessarily make it a better fragrance. So what do I think about this, and how does it differ from the original? Aside from those clear differences of the bottles, one is silver and one is matte black, which I actually enjoy both of these, to be honest with you. This is a little bit more playful than this. Both of these are pretty playful, let's be real. But the note breakdown is significantly different. So on initial spray, you're definitely gonna sense the resemblances to the original one. Despite the fact that a lot of the notes don't really match with a lot of the older notes, it's very likely that the notes are still there. They just placed the notes of what they added into it, or they just removed one or two. So it doesn't really state that there's any soil nuance in the new one. And in the new one, the notes are cardamom, bergamot. We have that rhubarb, and then there's that same patchouli lavender combination, vanilla. But also in this one, we have some tolu balsam. And the two important nuances that I want to really focus on is going to be the rhubarb and the tolu. And there are going to be a couple of reasons why, but let's start off with the rhubarb. So it literally almost smells like this green, watery type of scent. How do you even imagine a green, watery scent? Well, just think about like veggies, like literally vegetables. That's what it is. It's a vegetal nuance. Basically, that's as simple as it is. It's like this vegetable nuance with a watery quality to it. So think cucumbers, think something of that nature, except this one has a little bit more of an acidity to it than something like cucumber. Basically, the acidity just translates into something that's sour. So vegetal, green, watery, and sour-like smelling, slightly spiced, and it also complements the spice of the cardamom pretty well. A great opening in my opinion, and honestly, even with that vegetal nuance, it doesn't smell bad by any means. This does not smell like vegetables per se, but it definitely can throw some people off. A lot of experiences, at least in my experience, is that people who smell fragrances with like rhubarb can usually either be set off completely or just absolutely fall in love because it's something pretty unique. In this circumstance, it's actually pretty unique to the point where it actually draws you in a little bit more, makes the whole opening a bit juicier, to be honest. The opening is fantastic. The lavender starts to creep in, it's softened out, it's very sweet from the top all the way to the dry down. And there's really not much to report in terms of differences once you get to the mid and dry down. There isn't much of a complexity to this fragrance other than citruses, some earthy nuance, and the most complex thing about this is going to be the whole rhubarb nuance, and it just gets much, much sweeter, much more grown up than the original version. So rather than doing that soil nuance and doing some lemon citruses and light and bright and playful, this one takes it, matures it up, grows it up, adds a little bit of cojones to it, and more of a sweetness. However, once we get into the mid to dry down, I'm talking about 2 to 3 hours in, this did something on my skin I wish it never did, because during the top, I really enjoyed this one. And I said, oh, this is the new Phantom, new and improved, grown up, mature, sexier, but it started going a bit sour on my skin. And I think it's a combination of two notes, not just the tolu balsam, but also the vetiver. So vetiver sometimes can come off, it's like this super dry, brittle woods, but when it's done in excess on my skin, it can kind of come off like an ammonia type of scent, and combine that with a balsamic and more acidic type of resins in the base. And I think that combination really emphasized on the acidity of the fragrance and the way that it reacted on my skin. So for me personally, it came off sour on my skin. It was sweet and sour at the same time. I'm not really too surprised though, because of a lot of these acidic nuances or sour nuances, like starting all the way from the rhubarb down to the Haitian vetiver, down to the tolu balsam. I don't think it's a bad fragrance at all. I genuinely believe this one to be a step up from the original, and if it didn't do that on my skin, I would still say that it's a step up from the original. I genuinely think that scent profile wise, I like this more than I like the original. However, because of what it did on my skin, which it possibly couldn't do on yours, I personally cannot wear this one, and I would much rather wear the original just because of that. If it wasn't for the acidity and the way that this came off on my skin at that 2-hour mark, this is definitely a better scent profile than the original. So to answer the main question of the video is this the new Parfum better than the original? My answer would be a simple yes. Is it better for me? I would have to say no, personally no. And so now you might be faced with a dilemma like, ooh, what if it comes off sour on me, etc. Really the only way to tell is to go try it out. And lucky enough for you, it's at Macy's and every other department store, so you could easily just walk in, ask them to spray it on your skin, and as you go about your day, test it, see how it reacts on your skin, and there's your answer. Other than that, I don't really have much more to say about either one of these fragrances. It smells really good. I really wish it didn't go sour on my skin, but it sure did. So it is what it is. Let me know down in the comments if you have either one of these flankers and which one you enjoy more.